actually, I'm not saying it is good. I'm not saying it is helpful. I'm just saying that there's a difference between telling people what's going on, which again, I'm not excusing, I'm not condoning, but there is a difference between that and this is where the strike will happen.
Sure.
Well, there is a difference, but the question is what's on here appropriate? I get that you're saying it'd be worse if it said, here's what we're doing next, although it does say that in at least one instance. But forget whether this is the worst possible thing. I'll just ask one more time because I'm curious. I'm genuinely curious in your view. Do you think it's appropriate to have that conversation on Signal?
No, I would rather have that happen on the high side. There's a reason that there's a process for this, right? Yeah. So, no, I don't think, I mean, there's a reason that we set up SCIFs. There's a reason we have red phones. There's a reason we do this. And so do I, to your point, I've said this before. I don't think there's a difference in the nomenclature, whether it's classified or even sensitive, right? So in the military, there's a big thing called PII, which is your personal information, right? Identifiable information. Even that you're not supposed to discuss. Like, so you can't combine someone's birthday with, so that somebody on the outside can figure out who that person is and hack them and implicate them, right? So anything from PII up, you shouldn't be having those discussions. So, is it helpful? No. I think there's a spectrum though of outrage that needs to be calibrated.
I think there will be more to come now.
Okay.
So well, I will say this. If we want to look at the political situation, political piece of this, Democrats had their shot yesterday. And I honestly, for all of the fervor, I actually think if you're a Democrat, you have to be rather disappointed in how Democrats handled themselves at the Senate Intelligence Committee yesterday.
Why is that?
I mean,
they didn't lay a glove on the guys.
Yeah, but actually, I disagree. They are smart people. They were very careful with their words, and now they're going to get picked apart. So, I mean, this is, look, again, it's very Clintonian, right? It's often, and I go back to to Senator Cotton. It was what he didn't say and then refused all day to come out and clarify, which he absolutely would have if it was an honest omission, speaks volumes. So I think it's just, for Democrats, we are still on offense on this.
They weren't perfect yesterday, but they were, to me, much better than the norm. And I'll say my strong sense is, having not read it all, but seeing what we just showed, is anyone, including people who've come on on this community who've been Trump voters who've come on this platform, anyone who thinks that the use of Signal was cavalier, reckless, dangerous, and arrogant, I think have had their instincts confirmed. And that's separate from how Jeffrey Goldberg got on the chain. I don't think again, Sean, I say respectfully, I don't think anyone could look at what they put on Signal and say fair-mindedly that that's something that should have been on Signal. I just don't think anybody could say that's fair. And that validates what the Democrats said yesterday. They said, show us what was on the chain. Well, and we will say it wasn't appropriate. And I think that's what they'll say.
Yeah, I think that to me was sort of the other silly thing. I mean, to say, show us all your emails, that's a little bit of a cute game there, right? I mean, you want to go down that chain. They're asking for trouble going forward.